Hey, thank you for joining me. This is Greg Nelson from the Hard Knock State. This live stream was scheduled at 7:35. I do apologize. I did a live stream. However, it looked like, and I had streamed into four different social media sites to do a live stream, and I did not realize for some reason, the live stream on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube did not connect. So I went through and I did a whole hour long live stream on Instagram. So I am going to redo this again for Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you are waiting for the live stream this evening, I'm sorry for the delay. I'm sorry that it ended up like this. Sometimes we run into technical difficulties. My name is Greg Nelson. I am a sales coach, sales trainer. I've been an automotive sales professional and a sales professional for over 20 years. The past 6.5 years, I've been a sales manager where I coach and train sales professionals. Those just getting into the sales industry from a different career path to intermediate skilled sales professionals to producing sales professionals. And the one thing I taught them all had in common was I taught them how to sell more. I taught them how to sell consistently, and I taught them how to earn more on each sale through the effective teachings of what we're going to go over, the information such as we're going to go over tonight, which is the 10 biggest mistakes that salespeople make when following up. So this is Grant Cardone's top 10 list. This is what he's compiled over 40 years of experience in as being a industry leader in sales and sales training and sales coaching. It was, I got to tell you, it was probably about 10 years ago. Before that, my first 10 years in sales and retail commission sales, I was a complete average salesperson. Before that, before 20 years ago, I owned a produce market, grocery store, nursery. I sold Christmas trees during the holiday season. In the springtime, I sold outdoor flowers and bedding plants. I sold bark. I had a small little dry good grocery store where I, sold soups and flour and sugar and all the necessities. But then I also had a fairly large size produce, fruit and vegetable market, produce market. It was a year round operation for the most part, except for one or two years where I had a bumper crop, if you will, and had an extremely good year. And I was able to shut down during the winter time, but just open up for Christmas trees. Previous to that, I was a produce manager for a large national grocery chain. I climbed the ladder in that industry, climbed the ladder in the automotive industry. I first started my own business when I was 13 years old. And then I've owned, three or four separate businesses. I think this is actually the fourth business that I've had in my lifetime. But I got to tell you, this is the most rewarding business. After I left the dealership and knowing Grant Cardone's material was directly responsible for my success. Not only was it responsible for my success from breaking out of being an average sales producer, but also my success that allowed me to hit that top producer status and then get promoted into management 6 months later. Uh, it's because of this material that it's become my life's mission. And really, I believe it's like a spiritual mission to where I want to help 10 million people in the United States, uh, teach them this material so they can live a successful life through a rewarding career in sales. Because if it weren't for Grant Cardone, I wouldn't be nearly where I am today. I would not have had the amount of success or the level of success that I found in my sales career. And I truly believe that I've only scratched the surface. I've only touched the ceiling. I only touched the hoop once, right? I jumped up before I was able to touch net. Now I'm able to get my hand over the rim. And before I know it, just by continuing to learn Grant's material, I know pretty soon I'll be the only white guy, one of the only white guys out there that could slam dunk a basketball. Uh, And sorry for the sports analogy, but that's the reality. 10 years ago, I remember a day I was walking into a sales meeting while looking at my paycheck, and I slumped into my chair, and I was trying to hide. My face turned bright red. I was horrified, and I was thinking about my kids. I was thinking about how I was going to keep the lights on at the house, and I was thinking about how I was going to keep my job. And then I heard it. Hey, Greg, I was being called out by the sales manager to tell the entire department how many sales I had out for the month, or more like didn't have. I was embarrassed. I was demotivated, and my performance for the rest of the weekend was shot. When I walked home that evening and opened the front door, my wife greeted me, my wife at the time, greeted me and told me that our water had been turned off. And so if you're living life in a sales career like how I was, and 76% of us are, 76% of us live paycheck to paycheck. And so if you're living life like I was, I got to let you know there's an actual blueprint, there's an actual strategy on how to really become a master at the sales game. And so most of us are good enough face to face where we could take a customer, or a good amount of us are good enough face to face where we could take a customer through the process, the perfect sales process, maybe through the steps of the sale. And we're good enough to where we think we got them committed on a certain product, and we're able to get a proposal in front of them. However, where most of us fail is when it comes to follow up. When most of us fail when it comes to picking up the phone. And so these are the 10 biggest mistakes. These are Grant Cardone's 10 biggest follow up mistakes. One biggest mistake is we're not making the phone call. The number one mistake in sales is that we never make the call. Uh, all you have to do is make the phone call, and you're then better than 48% of all the other salespeople out there. The reality is that 48% of salespeople do not pick up the phone and make one follow-up phone call. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you don't know what to say. Make the frickin' phone call. Okay. The only bad call is the one you don't make. And so pick up the phone and make the phone call. If you just make the attempt and pick up the phone and dial the phone and make an actual voice phone call, you've increased you're already ahead of the pack, right? Not making the call. The more calls you make, the better off you are. That is that. So not making the call is a mistake. The reality is, the more calls you make, the better off you are. Uh, they told you they're not going to be home today. Call them. They told you they're going on vacation. They're out of town. Call them. They told you they're in a sales meeting. Hey, I'm in a sales meeting. I'm in meetings all week. It's not a good time. Call them, because if you don't call them, trust me, the guy down the street will. And the reality is your competition is extremely weak on the phone, extremely weak on the phone. And so you could be the difference maker, and you could stand head above, shoulders above the rest, if you only just make the phone call. Remember, customers did 40 hours of research on that one service or product before they even came into your store, your showroom, or your office to get more information on the product or your service that they're looking to purchase. And also remember, the only reason why anybody purchases a product or service is because they have a problem that needs to be solved. There's something going on for the reason why they want that product or service. Even if they're buying concert tickets for enjoyment, okay, or they're buying a convertible because they want to have fun, okay, the reason for them to buying those concert tickets or buying that convertible is because the problem they're trying to solve is boredom, or maybe it's loneliness, or something like that, unhappiness. And so a convertible or going to a concert is going to do the exact opposite of that. Okay. On February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'm putting on my half-day phone mastery workshop. This is Grant's phone mastery sales strategies. It's coming right out of his 10x sales professional course, Grant's phone mastery 10x sales professional course. This workshop is going to be about 5 hours long. It's Grant's material. He's compiled over 40 years of being an industry leader in sales training and sales coaching. His sales professionals use this same material. And this is what he teaches and trains Fortune 100 companies and teaches their sales associates and sales professionals on these same strategies. And so February 11th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, it's a Saturday. Go to thehardknockstate.com, scroll right below the banner, and they'll give you directions on how to get your free ticket. Included in the free ticket is a 10x sales professional course workbook. It's this phone mastery course workbook. It's a digital download workbook. Follow along and study at home workbook. You'll also get access to my private Facebook sales professional networking group. If you choose to upgrade to the 1995 VIP package and you scroll down to the bottom of the website there, past the free ticket, go to the bottom of my product page. You can see the VIP upgrade, and you'll get everything you get with the free ticket. In addition, you're going to get 30 days of my Revenue Rocket weekly group coaching. And then that's a 4 individual 45-minute sessions, 1 session each week, also with follow along and study at home course workbook. You are also going to get a bonus buy, which is 2 of my classy contract closing metal pens. And so these are quality metal, not plastic. It's metal. They got a nice weight to it. It's a painted gunmetal gray with a light engraving of the Hard Knock State on there. It's got some beautiful, just very elegant silver accents. It is a fine tipped ballpoint pen. It signs so smoothly and writes so neatly. You can get numbers and letters into small boxes on a buyer's guide or purchase order credit application, and then again it just so smooth with the writing. If you close deals on a tablet or a touchscreen, it also has a stylus on there. So I sell the 2-pack of these pens for $19.95, but you're going to get the pens, you're going to get the 30 days of weekly group coaching. That alone is $395 value. That's a $395 value that you're getting for $19.95. You're getting the half-day phone mastery workshop. You're going to learn Grant's proven successful phone selling skills and strategies, all for $19.95. You're going to get access to the private Facebook sales professional networking group. You get the group, you get the free download workbook for free. You get the group coaching plus the 2 closing pens for $19.95. Thehardknockstate.com. But not making the call is the number one biggest mistake salespeople make out there when following up. When you're spending too many times making reasons not to follow up, you need to understand you need to be unreasonable and make the follow-up phone call. Excuses are nothing more than a well-fabricated lie. Grant says greatness will not find you until you show up. Creativity will not find you until you take action. The second biggest mistake salespeople make when following up is they don't make enough calls. You don't make nearly enough contacts, calls, or frequency and volume is the second. The lack in frequency and volume is the second most commonly mistake that sales professionals make in following up. 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and the 12th attempt, or the 5th and the 12th contact. The average salesperson doesn't even make any calls. You need to make at least 5 requests in order for you to close the deal. So you need to make 5, you need to pass that offer by your customer, that proposal. You need to relay that same information 5 to 12 times in order to make the sale after they left your store, your office, or your showroom. And that's if you were able to get a hold of them again. Now think about this. Let's say a fresh lead comes in, a fresh internet lead comes in. It's not going to take you 1 or 2 times to get a hold of that lead and make contact and make an appointment. It's going to take you 5 to 12 times 5 to 12 attempts for them to pick up the phone, for them to commit to taking their time out of their day to come into the store to see you, to take a look at the product or service, and to take a look at how much it's going to cost them. So it took you 5 to 12 attempts in order for you to make that sale. You got them into the store, you weren't able to close the deal. It happens, right? I get it. It's part of sales. Sometimes it happens. You can't close them, right? And so they leave your store, and now you got to follow up with them. Now, how many times you think it's going to take to get a hold of them? It's going to take another 5 to 12 times to get back in touch with them in order to get them back on the phone. Then you're going to have to ask them probably another 5 to 12 times to follow up with them again. If you think 1 or 2 times, or you get the point. I mean, realistically, you can't think 1 or 2 times are going to be enough. Not even 3 or 4 times are going to be enough. You can, if you're complaining after making a handful of calls that nobody ever calls you back, or nobody ever picks up the phone, you got to stop it. It's time to pull the big boy pants up. It's time to pull the big girl pants up and start acting like a grown up. Okay. The reality is you're not making enough calls. You're not making enough attempts to make yourself known in the marketplace. Uh, you're not making nearly enough calls, sending enough emails, sending enough text messages, sending enough videos, handwritten notes for anyone to even know you exist. It's probably the same problem you run into with social media. The reality is we typically stop with our close, very tight knit circle of friends, but outside of that, nobody knows we even exist. 5 to 12 calls. Okay. Get that it's drilled into the head. 5 to 12 attempts, not 1 or 2, is what you need to think when you follow up. You need to rise above the noise. In fact, the reality is if you live or you sell in a highly metropolitan area, the product or service that you sell, regardless of whether it's a couch, a bedroom set, a mattress, regardless of whether it's an automobile, kitchen appliances, jacuzzis, a spa, stove, home improvement products. It doesn't matter whether it's insurance, doesn't matter, gym memberships. They could probably go 10 miles in any direction, and there's another company or organization selling the same product or service, or selling something very similar to what you have. And so when customers start calling, when customers call in, number one, that's one of the most serious buyers that there ever is. A customer that picks up the phone and calls an organization to get more information is one of the most serious buyers that you can ever run into. They've done 40 hours of research on that product or service. They've done research on the organization that they're going to call. They've got a list of probably 5 or 10 different organizations, stores, showrooms, or offices or warehouses that they're going to call, that they're going to visit on their precious time off to come in and see you. Okay, so they want to get the information. They got a game plan. They want to get the information. They want to quickly get off the phone. They want to call the next place. Okay, if you were lucky enough to get an appointment, or you were lucky enough to get see a customer face to face, and you were able to put your product or service in front of them, you got to understand that once they leave their store, they're not leaving their store to let their dog out in fear of their dog making a mess on their carpet or on their hardwood floors. Okay, they don't have a roast in the oven. Okay, they don't need to run off to an appointment, or they're not expecting company coming over to their house at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're just not. They're letting you down easy, and they're trying to let you off the hook gracefully. They're trying to bow out of the showroom gracefully without telling you or being direct with you and hurting your feelings, that to tell you that they're not going to buy anything today. So they're going to, hey, we really like it. We really like this product or service. We're really, really interested in it, but we got to go right now. We're out of time, man. We are out of time. We got to, oh man, the dog's legs have been crossed for 3 hours. And if we don't get home in the next 10 minutes, boy, there's going to be a big mess. And we just put new carpets down. Oh gosh, we just got to go. Hey Greg, you got a card? Greg, can I get your business card, please? 5 to 12 attempts, not 1 or 2, is what we need to think. Okay, rise above the noise. They get off that phone with you. They leave your store, your showroom. They're not going home to let the dog out. They're not going home to take the roast out of the oven. They're going right down the street to the next place, the next organization that's got the same product or service, and see what kind of deal they could wield with them. And then they're going to tell that sales guy the exact same thing. So when you don't follow up with them, they forget about you, which is the third biggest reason mistake. The third biggest mistake salespeople make when following up is number three, they don't call on a regular basis. Your calls need to be on a regular basis. Randomness, one call now, another call a month from now, or maybe 3 weeks from now, or 2 weeks from now, or man, you got to stop that. You're doing no good. You're wasting time. You're wasting your time. You're wasting the customer's time. You need to create volume and frequency with your follow-up phone calls, your follow-up attempts. Volume and frequency. It's like working out. You can go to the gym once a week and you can work out for 2 or 3 hours. You can have the best workout once a week for a month or 3 months, right? But the difference is if you go to a gym, uh, once a day and you work out for 20 or 30 minutes, you're going to see real results. You're not going to see results from going once a week. Okay. You aren't getting a results. You aren't getting pain and sore muscles by not perfecting this and doing it once in a while. You might as well just go home and eat milk and cookies. Okay. The way for the workout to work is to do it every single day. You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to create a discipline, and you're going to create a different kind of self-esteem and confidence when you follow up and start making phone calls every single day. The same goes or when you go to the gym every single day, but the same goes for following up. Okay. When you make these calls every day, send out the emails every day, send out your text messages, send out your videos every day. Remember, we want to be frequent, volume, and also consistency. Okay. Make sure you're calling at a consistent time. Hey, look, if you get a hold of if you don't get a hold of a customer, yeah, mix up the times that you call them. Because if you're calling at 2 o'clock every day and you're getting the same result, which is the voicemail box, then maybe try calling them at a different time. But however, if they pick up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're probably the chances of them being available in the future at 2 o'clock in the afternoon are highly likely. So then make that consistent, right? Once you become dependable, you become trustworthy, and you become a contact to give a contract. Okay. And so Grant says, with follow up, be the stream, not the rock. That's a quote from Grant. The fourth biggest mistake we make in follow up is we wait too long. Waiting too long is a major, major mistake. The speed at which you can operate will give you a tremendous amount of leverage in the marketplace. Follow up within the first 60 seconds and increase your chances of conversion by 320%. So if you can follow up a fresh lead within the first 60 seconds, you increase your conversion rate by 320%. Speed is certainty. Speed is clarity. Speed is security. Speed says you're the only game in town. Excuse me, you're the only sales professional in town. Don't wait too long to do your follow-up. If you have their number, follow up with them. If you know where they live and you can't get them to come back in the showroom because they're strapped for time, make an offer to drive over with the product or service and follow up with them. Waiting too long. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to your customer, and don't do it to your business. Okay. On February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'm putting on my half-day phone mastery workshop. This is going over Grant Cardone's proven successful phone sales strategies. Okay, this is what he uses and what has used to develop the businesses that he's developed. Okay, do you know Grant Cardone built two massive businesses. Two of his core businesses he built from making cold calls alone. And these two businesses are two of his major pillars in his whole organization. And he made them all. I mean, each business does volumes of hundreds of millions of dollars each year. And he made these businesses and made them successful just by making cold calls, just by getting good at making phone calls and making follow up phone calls. Okay. So you're going to learn this material on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's an interactive half day virtual workshop. Okay. There's going to be exercise. There's going to be breaks throughout it. It's about 5 hours long. There's going to be breaks. There's going to be exercises we're going to do. You're going to get a free 10x sales professional digital download, follow along and study at home workbook. In addition to that, for free, you're going to get access to my private Facebook sales professional networking group. If you will have the option of upgrading to a VIP pass for 1995. The VIP pass will give you will not only give you everything you get for free, but will also give you 30 days of my Revenue Rocket sales group coaching. That's 4 individual 45-minute sessions, one each week. Also, we go over the other topics each week, so it's not the same thing being repeated over and over again. We go over a different 10x sales professional course each week, and so you're also going to get each week you're going to get another course workbook, and then you're also going to get two of my classy contract closing pens. These are nice quality metal pens. Okay, they're not cheap plastic pens. Being that they're metal, they got that nice weighted feel to them. They're a painted gunmetal gray, which is very elegant, silver accents in it. One side's a stylus, the other side's a fine tip ballpoint pen. It just signs so smoothly. And if you close your contracts on a touchscreen or a tablet, you can use this pen. It's got a light engravement on it with the information of the Hard Knock State. I looked through hundreds of these pens before I decided to go with these ones. I sell a 2-pack of my classy contract closing pens. I sell these two individual pens for $19.95. But you're getting the pens, you're getting the 2-pack of pens, you're getting 4 individual 45-minute Revenue Rocket sales group coaching sessions. So a whole month of group coaching from a 20-year sales veteran and former sales training sales manager. You're going to get access to the private Facebook sales professional networking group, and then you're going to get all of Grant's information with the digital download, 10x sales professional course of phone sales mastery. You're going to learn how to make cold calls. You're going to learn how to master the follow-up phone call. You're going to learn how to take an inbound phone call, somebody just having a general question, product or service question. You're going to be able to control that phone call from ring. You're going to be able to get that phone call. You're going to be able to control that to where the customer will set an appointment, and to where they'll get a lock for their own appointment. After to shoot through the roof. After you go, show rates are going to shoot through the roof. And when your show rates shoot through the roof, your close rates are going to shoot through the roof. Once that happens, your income and what you make on each sale is going to start increasing and shooting through the roof. The whole idea is to get you to sell more, sell consistently, and earn more on each sale. And it's all because of Grant's material that thankfully Grant had the foresight 40 years ago to start what probably didn't start documenting everything 40 years ago, but I had the foresight to document and write down and practice and rehearse and perfect all this material. Grant's sales training material is ethical, it's transparent, it's effective. Okay. And it works in and it's going to work now. It worked 5 years ago. It worked 10 years ago. Guess what? It's going to work in the future too. Uh, so go to thehardknockstate.com. Scroll right below the banner. It'll give you directions on how to get the free ticket. If you want the VIP upgrade for 1995, and I don't know why you wouldn't do that. It's the dumbest. It I gotta when the offer is so good that look the my weekly group coaching sessions for a month block of that is $395. This material, this half day workshop, when I do this live and not over Zoom, when I do this in a like on a stage, a ticket to to this show with the workbook, just the workbook, is $1,995. But I'm doing all of this. Okay. I'm giving this all to you uh, for 1995. And so, I mean, uh, just, so you're getting over $2,400 of value for under 20 bucks. But we're on the fourth biggest follow up mistake. Okay. And this is the lack of variety. Actually, we're on number five now. We're on number five is lack of variety and reasons to call. You lack a variety and reasons to follow up, and it's a major mistake. In a transaction, you can't just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. You can't sound like a broken record to get the deal. Okay. You can't run out of material. You can't depend on one mechanism and think that you're gonna make it. For the 48%, excuse me, the 52% of salespeople that actually make the follow-up phone call don't make it past 3 phone calls. The majority of them don't make it past 3 attempts because they don't know what to say. They run out of things to say and they start sounding like a broken record. If you use the same techniques, you become predictable and you run out of reasons to follow up and you run out of credibility. You have to be to do this you don't want to do and use a full variety of ways to get back in touch with them. You got to be creative and willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. So use a variety. Don't get too comfortable and too reasonable with using just one avenue to follow up and make these follow-up attempt calls or reaches out to your customer. Add variety and reasons to your follow-up. Okay. Use the whole gamut. Use everything in your tool belt. Use everything in your arsenal. Use text message, use video, use email, use handwritten notes. Yes. Use US mail. Snail mail is still a real thing. And if you're following up with them and it's going to take you 5 to 12 attempts to get back in touch with them, look, you on the first day of follow-up or on the second day of follow-up with your customer, if you send them out a handwritten note, by the 6th follow-up attempt, okay, they would have received that note and nobody else is doing it. Make a personal visit. Remember, time is the most valuable commodity. And look, you got the husband and wife. Okay, the typical family, okay, structure is a husband and wife both out working full-time jobs. They have 2 or 3 kids at home. Okay, those kids are in school. Those kids have after-school activities on the weekends. They got the tournaments. They've got the matches. They've got the music recitals, the dance recitals. Okay. Life is busy. When mom and dad get home from work after putting in a 9 to 5, one of them has probably had to juggle that schedule if the kids don't go to daycare or their kids are getting home from school, they're latchkey kids and they're walking in the door. Okay. They get home from work. They got to put dinner on the table. They got to help with homework. They got to do laundry. They got to clean up after the kiddos, right? They got to take the kids to tutoring class. They got to take them to language class, right? A foreign language class. They got to take them to music class, to sports. Okay. The list just goes on and on and on. And we make 1 or 2 follow-up attempts and we run out of things in our arsenal and we don't get them calling back. Right. And we think, they don't care about us. Right. They don't, man, They don't care about, so they don't want the product. They're not interested anymore. When it's all just a big lie. It's a major lie. Life is so busy, and you're not the only one following up with them. If they're shopping your product, you have to know they're shopping. If they're not just shopping your store, they're shopping other stores for similar products and services. And so, look, again, you live in a major metropolitan area, within 10 miles, there's another dealership, another store, another outfit selling exactly what you got or something very, very similar. Those customers, they've gone out, they've hit those stores too. Okay. So, if you don't follow up, somebody else will. And so, by you following up and getting consistent and using the whole arsenal of ways to get a hold of them: text message, video, email, personal visits, handwritten letters, okay, snail mail, the whole arsenal. uh, you're going to be at the forefront of their mind. Okay. The sixth biggest follow-up mistake is you have no clear purpose when you call. Another mistake is you have no purpose for the call, the contract, the personal visit, the text message. You need a reason, and you need a backup reason. Just like having a pen, right? Reason why I sell 2-pack of pens, because you always want a salesperson. As Grant says, this is your sword. You wouldn't go into battle without your sword. So you always want to have a pen, and you always want to have a backup pen. So you always want to have 2 pens on you, one that you use, and one that you use when you lost the one that you were using. Um, hey, so have a couple reasons why you're calling the customer, okay? And tell them the reason up front. Line your customers out. Remember, we're being transparent. Okay. Hey, the reason why I'm calling you, I tell everybody the reason up front. And then we got to tell them what our intention is. It's my intention for you for us to start installing your new kitchen appliances next Thursday afternoon. So by the weekend, you'll be able to be cooking the Sunday meal in your brand new kitchen. It's my intention to have you commuting to work tomorrow in your new hybrid vehicle. It's my intention for you having to show up at the job site tomorrow in your new 3/4 ton pickup. Okay. It's my intention, right? Get you in shape and to have your a complete physical body transformation in 90 days after you join the gym today. Okay. Have a clear purpose. Even if you're going to present to an individual, a small group, an auditorium full of people, it doesn't matter. Always let them know what your purpose is up front. Just be honest, to be clear about your purpose, and you'll always have a purpose. The seventh biggest follow-up mistake we make is we never leave a message. Oh my God. Can't even believe I got to talk about this. Why would you call somebody and not leave a message? You know your product and service is absolutely going to solve the needs of your customer. Why would you waste time? Why would you even pick up the phone and dial and not leave a message? As Grant says, always, always, always leave a message. Man, I could take this microphone and pound myself over the head with it, with all the sales people not leaving messages. Man, I just busy life is what today's family looks like. And if you make a phone call and you're going to call, leave a message every single time. You know yourself that you get the robocalls and the solicitors that call you that don't leave messages. You yourself know that if they don't leave a message, because it's probably not important, the call is probably not that important. And if it's not important enough for them to leave a message, it's not important enough for you to call back. So leave a message. Be important. You are important. Your product or service important. Your customers did 40 hours of research on that product or service, and they want you to continue to provide them with ongoing information. Leave a message. Okay. Every time I make a visit down the street, I leave a business card with somebody there. Okay. Doesn't matter if I've been there 3 times that day. Okay. Every time I walk in and cold call, a personal visit, I leave a message, right? I'm leaving my business card. If I had a customer tell me their boss told, uh, I had a customer once tell me their boss told them a story about how 20 years ago, Grant Cardone visited his office every day uh, for uh, for a whole year. And so look, I mean, I don't think it was a whole year, probably every day for like 3 months. But anyway, uh, always leave a message. Be the stream, not the rock, right? Whenever you're on the phone, leaving a message in person or emailing, never make them feel bad, right, for not purchasing from you. Just leave a message. And hey, you could always say this: "Hey, Bob, this is Greg. Hey, look, I was just thinking about you. Want to see what further information I can get for you regarding the Gen Air downdraft gas range that you said you wanted to install, before Valentine's Day. Hey, we've got these ranges. We just created another shipment. We ordered the one you exactly want. And I want to see when would be a good time you can come in to take a look at it in person to make sure it has all the features that you're looking for your new kitchen set." So always, always, always leave a message. The number 8 biggest mistake when we're following up as sales professionals is we don't collect critical data for future sales. Major mistake. Collecting future data. I've seen this time and time again. We get it, do a good job. We get a name, a first name, and we get a phone number. However, we fail to ask the customer to spell their last name, so we don't even bother writing it down. And then we don't ask for an email address as another form for us to stay in touch with them or send them the information that they're looking for. Have you ever had a customer tell you, "Just email it to me," and then you got off the phone with them and realized you never asked for an email address? It's happened to us all. But look, let's say you're making headway with your customer, you're coming to an agreement, you're signing the contract. Hey, look, you need to make sure you get all the information, right? And it would be better to get the information up front than to have to call the customer back again and ask them for additional critical information. People who make investments in their initial choice, right? They make a dollar amount investment and immediately wonder, did we ever invest enough, right? So, hey, look, they're making an investment with their banker, right? Their banker sold them a really good deal, real good investment product. They invested, say, $10,000. Okay, well, immediately that product, that service started seeing gains. And now the salesperson, because he collected all the critical data, can easily get back a hold of those clients and say, "Hey, look, you invested $10,000. We're already seeing that market move in the positive direction, and you've already gained money on your investment. Do you think you invested too much or too little? And do you want to throw a little bit more at it? Hey, look, we're still new into this, and there's still time for you to capitalize even further on your investment. Do you want to throw a little bit more at it, or do you think just putting in the 10 grand was enough?" Okay. So collect all the critical data for future sales. As a consumer, I'm literally thinking reinforcing the first purchase with the second person purchase. Look, I when I bought past couple cars I bought were black color cars. I normally buy silver, but black color cars. Man, I would not buy a black color car without getting paint sealant. I just wouldn't. I mean, that's the reason why the black color cars that when the sun hits it and they start fading that paint, you get the paint sealant. You don't get the fading look on it. And so, if you buy a truck that doesn't have a tow package, probably the first thing you're going to do is reinforce your first purchase, which would be the truck, with a tow package, which would be your second purchase. Or you might get a lift kit, or put a wheel and tire package on it, or tint the wheels, or get running boards or a bed liner or something, right? Um, Not collecting critical data and not looking for future sales is a mistake. Always end these calls looking for other potential sales, looking for buying cycles and what's next. Uh, Critical data, collect it, log it, and have it. Okay. And keep it handy, right? The ninth biggest follow up mistake we make as sales professionals is we don't ask for referrals. Man, this is so bad. This is like leaving a message. I can't believe you would sell somebody a product. You spend 3 or 4 hours with a customer, an hour or two with a customer, do a great job, sell a product, take selfie pictures with them as you're delivering the product to them, right? We do all that. And then we fail to follow up the next day and ask them how it's going. We fail to follow up with them, ask them how it's going. And then we fail to ask them who do they know that might be in the market for a product or service like this. We so many, you look, you got to understand if you acquired the customer in the first place, if you made a customer, you turned the prospect into a customer, or the client, the shopper into a buyer, and they're now your customer, right? And most of those, you got to know, most of those people are satisfied customers. They're satisfied. You've done a good job, and you've solved the problem that they were having with the product or service that they purchased. Okay, most of these people would be, statistics say and studies say that most of these people would be happy in giving a referral, but only if the salesperson asks for it. And that's where the salesperson fails. We don't ask for referrals. Ask, ask often, ask frequently, and keep asking for referrals. Okay. Who do you know who's most likely to buy a product we have or use our service? My business depends on people like you doing business with people like me. Who do you know who's also in the market for a product or service like this? It's not going to offend anyone. In fact, you're going to gain the respect from these people even more. So if you put a smile on your face and you make light of it, they're going to smile too. And they'll always gladly bring somebody to you. And if you do this and you do it often enough and you build a good relationship with people, as you promise, for years to come, and you really do this, guess what? Not only are they going to send everybody they know to you, but when they need a replacement product or service, they're going to run back to you, and they're not even going to go shop anywhere else. Why? Because you've built the trust and the relationship that you're their go-to guy. You're the guy who or gal who's going to take care of them and service their needs for as long as they need the product or the service that you sell. But don't ask for a referral in this way. Don't say, hey, if you know anybody, would you send them my way? And just be really generic and cavalier about it. Man, take it seriously. Okay. This is your business, and you need to set yourself apart, especially if 2023 is going to be a down year. Okay. Do you say, uh, do you know who would benefit from the product or the service that we've helped? And the number 10 biggest mistakes we make as salespeople when we follow up is we're not organized to store the data. Look, this is one of the three biggest mistakes I've made in my career. I had no CRM in place. I wasn't collecting the data from my phones. I wasn't committed to keeping the data throughout my entire existence. Okay. Look, the first car dealership I worked at, we didn't have a CRM. Okay. This was 20 years ago. Okay. We didn't have cell phones, smartphones like we have today. Okay. We just didn't. And I had a 3-ring binder, and that was my CRM, was a 3-ring binder. But I was so bad at storing data. I was good face to face, and I was good at building rapport, and I was good at listening and finding the right product or service for the customer. I sucked on the phones. I sucked at follow up. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to be effective at it. Didn't know how to control a phone call, right? And so because I sucked at it, I didn't care to log the information. So always get organized to storing your data. Okay, contracts or contracts. Okay, always keep the data, always update it, keep it updated. Okay, even if you leave a job and you didn't have to sign a form that says you weren't allowed to take your contacts with you, don't give them up. Keep them updated and keep them organized. It doesn't matter what you were doing 2 years ago. It doesn't matter whether you're in this business or that business. Remember, you're in the people business, and you're in the business of taking care of people. People bought you. They just needed the product or service to fill their needs. Okay. The business of bringing a great attitude. The people business is the business of service. It's the business of caring. It's the business of being a can-do, will-do sales professional. And it's the business of bringing a great attitude, a great service, and a great value. The people who did business with you 3 years ago or 30 years ago, they're still great people. They're still great contacts, and they will be future contracts. Again, if you do your part, build the relationship, stay in touch with them, ask for referrals, keep them serviced, and build that bond. Okay, you're going to need them in the future. You're going to need them soon in the future, and your future sales are going to depend on how you follow up with people and how good you get on the phone. All right. The way the gasoline is going, hey, look, let's take a real look at this. Okay, you want to get good on the phone on February 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific times, my half day phone mastery workshop. Okay, let's look at the writing on the walls. It's not today is the last day of January. How many Fortune 100 companies have their this month have already laid off tens of thousands of people? Okay. I could think of three of them off my head. I can think of three major Fortune 100 companies in the first month of 2023, laying each one of them laying off tens of thousands of people. Okay. That's an indicator right there that 2023 is going to be different than 2022. Okay. And this is, you're going to keep hearing things like this. Okay. You're going to keep witnessing things like this. And so when the natural flow of traffic dries up coming into your store, your showroom, or your office, you need to find a way to combat it. We are, most of us, or a good majority of us, are really good taking the customer through a process when they come into our store, but we're really bad at phone follow up. And so February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, it's my uh, phone mastery half day workshop. You're going to get this is comes right out of Grant Cardone's sales mastery material from his 10x sales professional course. It's a 5 hour this is a 5 hour workshop. Okay, there will be breaks in between throughout it, so don't worry. There we'll have exercises. You'll take breaks. You'll be able to stretch your legs, get your coffee, use the restroom, all that, right? But with that free ticket, it's free, free 99. Okay, with that free ticket, not only are you going to get the all the material from the workshop itself, you're going to get a 10x sales professional follow along and study at home digital download workbook. You're going to get access to my private Facebook sales professional networking group. And then if you choose to upgrade, the upgrade to VIP is only $19.95. And for $19.95, you get everything you get in the free ticket. Plus, you get 30 days of my weekly Revenue Rocket weekly group sales coaching. And every week we cover a different topic, one of Grant's 10x sales professional courses. So of course, each week you're going to get a different workbook as well. Plus, you're going to get two of my latest items. These are my classy contract closing pens. These are nice metal quality ballpoint pens. They're not a cheap plastic pen. They got a nice metal weight feel to it. They're a fine tip ballpoint pen with a stylus on the end. So if you close on a touchpad or you close on a tablet, you'll be able to take care of your customer. If you close on a traditional paper contract, these pens write so smoothly, you're going to be highly impressed. They're gunmetal gray. They're painted gunmetal gray, and they got just these very elegant, very beautiful silver accents in it. And you get two pens for $19.95 alone. Okay, but I'm giving it to you free for the VIP upgrade for $19.95. My Revenue Rocket weekly group coaching, that right there is a value of $395. You can go to the Hard Knock State right now. You can see it. It's $395 for 4 sessions, 45-minute sessions, one session a week. But you're getting this all for $19.95. So let's recap on everything you're going to get. You're going to get Grant Cardone's proven successful phone mastery sales strategies and techniques through the half-day workshop. You're going to get the free 10x sales professional phone mastery study at home, or follow along and study at home workbook. You're going to get access to my private Facebook sales professional networking group for free. The VIP upgrades you to 4 uh, 45-minute sessions of my Revenue Rocket weekly sales group coaching with workbooks. And then you're going to get two of the classy contract closing pens. So go to thehardknockstate.com, scroll right below the banner. That will give you directions on how to get the free ticket. If you want the $1995 upgrade, and I don't know why you wouldn't with the amount of value you're getting. Look, I mean, when I do this, a phone mastery half-day workshop in person, the ticket alone is $1,995 for the VIP package. Okay. But you're getting this material for free. And then the virtual upgrade, the VIP upgrade, is $19.95. So I don't know why you wouldn't get the upgrade. But scroll down the bottom of my first page into my product section. At the bottom of my product section, you'll see the VIP upgrade for $19.95. So, hey, look, these have been the top 10 biggest mistakes sales perfect. Appreciate that you were far, because you can go into the office on Monday and you could put this into work. You can go in the office tomorrow. You could put this to work immediately, and you can start setting more appointments, getting more customers to show. You can start closing more deals and making bigger commissions and more frequent commissions. Because remember, all this material is designed for you to sell more, sell consistently, and earn more on each sale. And again, my name is Greg Nelson. It's thehardknockstate.com. Sign up for my half-day phone mastery workshop and sign up for the VIP. Get the VIP upgrade. You'll be happy you